during the political season, this political season, it is a notion worth pausing for. The idea of a promise kept. Wei-Min Sheen, known as Al, never wrote a book or never met a president or won a marathon in most regards, said his son Alex at his father's funeral last month. He was as ordinary as they come. But the Columbus area man kept his word, and that's powerful. So powerful that after Alex started a website in his honor called Because I Said I Would, the idea went viral literally overnight with thousands of views by the time Alex awoke the next morning. And within 7 days, 27,000 views. Alex Sheen is with us by phone to talk about the idea and the response he has received from around the world, thanks to the internet. Welcome, Alex Sheen.
Hi, Ann. Thank you so much for having me.
A question for our listeners first. Listeners, have you heard of Because I Said I Would? Have you kept a promise because of it? Give us a call, 614-292-8513. I know there's people out there tweeting about it. You can tweet us about it at WOSU All Sides. And you can also post on our Facebook page your question or comment for my guest, Alex Sheen. So, Alex, when did it occur to you to develop the idea of Because I Said I Would?
Sure. I was actually talking to my stepmom about, his death as it came around, and she asked me if I would, like to give a eulogy. And as I was thinking about how I might remember my father, I tried to just reflect on his life. My father died of small cell lung cancer on September 4th. I was talking to some of my friends about what I might say at his eulogy, but the conversations kept centering around the way he died, that he had cancer, or, he smoked for a number of years. He quit 3 years before he was diagnosed, but I don't want to remember my father for how he died. I want to remember him for how he lived and who he was as a person. And so it kept coming back to the way he raised me and the way he conducted his own life, in the way he treated his word and his promises. If Dad said he was going to do something, it was most certainly done. And he taught me that, and I want to live in his likeness through the way that he lived. And that's how I came about this concept of Because I Said I Would. I really want to help folks, remember the promises they've made, not only to others, but to themselves. It could be little things that you've been putting off or big life goals. I want it to be a source of motivation.
You posted you created the website, right?
Correct.
And then you went to sleep.
Well, the way that it really started is that I posted essentially the message that I'm trying to deliver to a website called Reddit.com. It's a website of user-generated content. And then when I went to sleep, I woke up the next day, and this message had received, thousands and thousands, I think 7,000 overnight. And I was just really surprised to see how many people responded to the message. It was something I just wanted to get off my chest, but seemed to be going somewhere. And from there, I got so much traction and feedback through the Facebook site that I almost immediately created BecauseISaidIwould.com as a medium for folks to share their promises, for me to share some of my stories through that.
614-292-8513 is the number to call if you'd like to speak with Alex Sheen. I believe the story was published by the Cleveland Plain Dealer, but they published it in the Columbus Dispatch yesterday. That's the guy we're talking to, Alex Sheen, creator of the website Because I Said I Would. You can give us a call, or you can email us at allsides@wosu.org, or you can go to our Facebook page and post your question or comment there, or tweet us at WOSU All Sides. So when you first went on Reddit and created the website there, did it include your eulogy? Because that's on the website now.
It did not. I actually, a family friend recorded the eulogy and the message I gave, and then provided me that video, and then I posted that. And as I was thinking about the message I would deliver at his funeral, I wanted to come up with some kind of mechanism to help people with their promises. And I created these really simple cards. I just call them promise cards. They say because I said I would, and no other text on them. They're pretty easy to use, and I've been sending them out to anyone who will request them through our Facebook group or through the website. What you do is you write a promise on the card, and you give the card to a person you're making that promise, that commitment to. You tell that person, I'm going to fulfill my promise, and when I do, I get my card back. That card belongs to me. And you fulfill your promise, and when you do, you get your card back, and you keep that as a reminder that you're a person of your word. Again, these could be for little things you've been putting off, or those bigger goals that you just need some motivation for. But I'm hoping that this can be a way to help people remember their promises and stay motivated towards them.
I know you're not a social scientist or a psychologist or anything. You're a software designer, I think, right?
I actually work at Highland Software in Westlake. I am the innovation manager.
What is your sense about why this has caught on the way it has?
Sure. I think that one reason why I think the idea has worked well is that it's simple. I think everyone has promises. The way that this card works is very straightforward. But more than that, deeper than that, I think that a promise, a commitment to yourself or another person is very elemental to humanity. I think most people can connect with this. I've been getting responses on the Facebook page, emails to me personally about promises that people have been making, and I was really, really shocked to hear all the great feedback they've had and some really emotional responses that I've been getting. And I think it goes back to the fact that everyone can connect with this type of thing.
Tricia in Columbus, you're on the air with Alex Sheen. Welcome to the show. Hi, Tricia.
Oh, hi. This is Tricia. I didn't hear you say my name.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell Al that I could really relate to his comment on remembering his father for how he lived rather than how he died. I had a similar situation. My dad died while traveling, and every time I drive by the place where he died, I feel bad about it, but I much prefer to remember him as he lived, like mowing the grass and helping us when we had questions. He looked things up in the dictionary, and that's how I like to remember my dad. And I also wanted to say I'm keeping a promise today. I'm driving up to Cleveland to visit my niece because I missed her birthday last week.
That's great.
Great job, Tricia. Thanks.
Thank
Take care. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
But if you're driving, please pull over if you want to give us a call. 614-292-8513 or email us at allsides@wosu.org. Do you think this would have worked the same way without social media? Because that's why we're talking about it on Tech Tuesday. It's the social media component that's interesting, although it's a lovely story.
No, I think it's important to note that I obviously work for a technology company, and it was something top of mind for me on how to share this. Obviously, I'm very committed to the emotion of the message, but I wanted to find a medium that could help it spread, and I think social media has really been the reason why this has been able to spread around, and using Reddit.com and using Facebook, using my own website, Twitter, things of that nature is really helping the message spread. Because sure, my father passed away, and that's a tragedy for me and my family. But by using social media, others can share their stories, and I'd like to just read a quick few sentences.
Yes, I want to hear from some of them.
From a lady named Ginger Palmer. I don't know her, but she posted the following to becauseIsaidIwould.com. Our daughter was killed by a trucker 2 years ago. I promised I would finish college and wear her graduation robe to my graduation. This year I started back to college. I'm almost 80 years old. I hope I can keep my promise. Great website. Thank you. And, it's things like that I will see in my inbox or see on a site, and, I'm just taken back in a very positive way that others can use this to, better understand their emotions, their promises, their commitments, and share them with the world in a positive way that moves others to action.
Tell us some other stories that you've heard or you've read on the website or on Twitter.
Sure. There was a gentleman named Scott McVicker who posted a few times to the site, to actually the Facebook page particularly. I mentioned him in the eulogy that's featured on the website. He was one of the reasons why I thought maybe this could go somewhere. He he posted that he was going to quit smoking. He said he's a on-off smoker, that you know it wasn't a big habit, but he thought that it was really just an excuse that he made to himself. And I read that post and another one he made, and then 2 weeks later, he just posted something to the Facebook group. It says, over 2 weeks of not smoking. I'd like to say I did it from sheer willpower and commitment to myself, but honestly, putting my promise out here for everyone to see has been an added push that I needed. Thank you. And I think that's another way to look at, because I said I would, holding yourself accountable, really understanding what's important in life, and putting out there for others to help you.
It's interesting how, particularly on Facebook, the trend is so positive and upbeat. It's a real positive place. And when someone says something really mean and nasty, usually they get pounced on pretty quickly. Is that your estimation of it too?
Yeah, I think social media is a wild animal, and I was actually very interested to see how this would go through a variety of social media avenues. But it's been very, very positive, and it's good to see that the different members, the users coming to this site and to the Facebook page have been promoting each other, helping each other out, and staying positive. I think that it really centers around the message, and it centers around the goodwill of people and their willingness to help.
Have you had any trolls yet?
I actually haven't.
Not to give anybody any ideas,
yeah,
but almost inevitably it's going to happen.
And Ann, just to give you a very quick background about what I do at Highland Software, I manage the innovation program, and without going into too much detail, one of the things that we use at Highland is an internal site where all employees can post ideas, then thumb up or thumb down those ideas, and the best ideas float to the top. As the innovation manager, I incubate the best of those ideas till they can be sustainably managed by another structured part of the organization. And when you talk about trolls and positive and negative feedback, I've had a lot of experience with that. With over 1,400 employees in several departments across the world, I've seen that those types of responses firsthand and dealt with them. And so I was looking. I expected a little bit of that from creating this movement, but it's been really, really positive so far.
And I opened up the segment referring to the political season. Have there been any political references or people saying, gee, I wish politicians would, do this or that, or follow, come through with some of their promises?
Yeah, I'm actually very glad that you mentioned that, because that's a little project that I'm currently working on. I'm creating little boxes that I'm sending to all the candidates for Senate, both on the Republican and Democrat side, along with Mr. Romney and President Obama. I'm going to send them 25 cards with a letter inside, just saying, as you're on the campaign trail, think about the promises that you're making, the commitments that you're making to your constituency, and think about what that means to them, because people are counting on you. And regardless if I believe in your ideology or not, I think we can all agree that people are counting on those promises, and it's something that's particularly important during an election year. And I'm hoping that can help some of those candidates self-reflect and keep good on